Hey everybody, so we're here today working on the John Deere. Good morning everybody. I should have started with that. So we're here today working on the John Deere. We are probably, I'm going to say 2 to 3 weeks away from starting to combine some of our beans. We've got an earlier variety that started to turn, and in case you're wondering, no, we have still not gotten any rain. Today is August 15th, and since May 1st, I think we've had 2 inches of rain. Dad said it was 1.9, but I'm rounding up to 2, and things are getting thirsty. The field that we're standing by here, I don't know how much you're going to be able to tell in the camera view that I've got here, but they're starting to turn a little bit yellow. That's not because they're getting mature, that's because they're getting thirsty. These are the last holdouts of our beans on the property this year. They're the ones that held on the longest. This is a little bit heavier ground, especially on this end. I'm really surprised on the on the west end of this field, which is mostly sand. Those actually don't look any worse than these do for some reason. But anyway, we're gonna get the combine finished up. So we got a few things going on here. One of the things that we needed to do is see these. We already got this tore out. I didn't let you see us tear this out, but these are these little wood blocks here. These are oak blocks. They're actually bearings that hold the shoe augers, and we were looking at how to tear that apart, and then first mechanic John kind of figured it out. So what I had read online was you got to take the front of the auger out. Basically, you got. Why don't we go back here and have a kind of a good look at what we got going on here. So what I had read online was you have to pull the front of the augers out, and this is the front side of it right here, these gears. And what I read was you got to pull these tires off, and this shaft, we got to take this shield off, take some pulleys off, and that shaft has to come out. Then you have to drop all that stuff out the front. Well, John was looking at it. Show us what you found, John.
I really didn't want to do that, so I was looking back here and got the feeling. At first I thought there was the 2 blocks, there's only 1 block was riding on it, but that wasn't the case. It goes through both blocks. But then I got looking here and I was feeling around, and it wasn't, that angle iron wasn't connected to anything other than 2 bolts going through the side here. So we tried it, we took the 2 bolts out, and voila, it fell right out. So that was a lot easier than taking that shaft off and the tires off and everything else to get these wood blocks changed, because they were wore out just enough to where they were starting to rub on the metal on the bottom of the wood block.
So we got that out, and Kurt is actually starting to work on changing these. Show us what you got going on here, Kurt.
Not too bad, just 2 bolts holding each one in there. Get the DeWalt impact on there, and we'll just spin these babies off.
So these are just carriage bolts on the back. We get the new, here's the new ones. They're just oak blocks. So the shaft goes right through here. Then there's 2 holes where the
yeah, you can see these are wallowed out pretty bad.
You can see they're kind of
down to the metal there,
kind of oblong, and they get down close to this piece of metal here. And if that shaft starts running on that, you're going to have a lot bigger repair problems. So we're going to get that taken care of this fall. That's one major project we got going on. The other big thing we got going on is we're changing out the plastic. So this is, it's called a flex header. And it's called a flex head because it can undulate, is that the right word, with the ground contour. So the whole 25-foot platform will stay as close to the ground as possible, because with soybeans, you want to come as close to shaving the ground as you possibly can, because the bean pods grow all the way down to the bottom. So if there's a plant breeder out there somewhere that could figure out how to get soybeans that set the pods higher, I'd say about 6 inches would be about perfect. 6 inches and up.
And we wouldn't pick up any rocks.
Right.
Either.
You wouldn't have a problem with rocks. That'd be great. So, but this, they've got plastic skids on them to help them slide along the ground, so you don't end up pushing dirt up in front of yourself and stuff. And some of the, here you can see this one right here is actually tore off, or part of it is, and there's a number of them that are just getting to be in bad shape. So we bought a full set We're going to change out the whole thing. We might save a few of them that aren't in too bad a shape. You can see they've partially replaced some of it because there's different colors. I think
this one, this
yeah,
one,
the
this
darker
one.
colored stuff appears to be newer than the yellower stuff. But anyway, we're going to change the whole thing. And John's working on that. Kurt and I are working on the other project. And we get those two big things done. We've got some small things left. We still have an engine code issue. We haven't completely solved that. If anybody's an expert with the 72E code, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. We think we might know what to do, but we've not been successful yet. So we're going to keep playing with that. So we'll bring you back in a little bit. You got the nut stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's not quite the perfect size. Don't worry, we'll edit this part out. We won't show anybody this.
What do you got going on?
Well, these,
Some of the stuff's metric and some's not. I'm pretty sure this isn't. It's just a tight fit.
What size is it? What size you got on there?
13, I think. Is that what you got on there?
I got a half.
Oh,
Should put a 13 on there.
yeah.
Probably be perfect.
We'll give you a little peek at what how John's doing this. We'll let Kurt fight with that. So these are held on with rivets. They're just aluminum rivets, and you actually pound them on, so you set them in there. Well, we'll show you that when we get to the point of putting them on again. But so John's going through and drilling out at least the top part of the rivet and then punching the rest through. And then these will just, I think, pop right off there when we're done.
So to get a bigger hammer. Engineering.
So we thought we'd give you a little progress update. We're still out here working on this header. It's now early afternoon. Took a little longer than we thought. The job that we thought wouldn't be quite so bad turned out to be worse than we thought. The job we thought was going to be a real son of a gun actually turned out to be really easy. So give you an idea, you can see all these pieces of plastic on the ground. We've got them laid out so we can match up the new ones with the old ones and make sure we get the right ones in the right place. So looking underneath here, this is where you saw all the plastic before. They actually riveted onto those skids. And we're going to come all the way over to the end. And John and I just got done putting the first one in. So these are just little hammer rivets. You set these in place and there's a little pin sticking out. You hit that with a hammer. And then when you hit that, there you can kind of see this one right here. It mushrooms out the head by this pin coming out, the opposite of what most rivets do. So we got that on there. John and I are going to start coming across this side. Frank and Kurt are going to start coming across the other side. They had to do a little engineering. There's a skid plate underneath there that was bent a little bit, but they're getting her back into shape, and we're going to start putting the stuff back on. And we're live. I'm live. I'm on TV. Hey guys, so we didn't do a lot of video while we were doing this, working on this thing today because to be honest, it was hot, it was miserable, and nobody felt like doing anything extra. So anyway, we did get the rest of this poly put on, the whole thing here. Getting it off was not much fun at all, but we did get it all off, and we got the new stuff on. It went on better than it came off, I will tell you that. We had to clean a lot of dirt. There's a bit of a cavity in behind here. John's going to try and get you a picture of that thing right there. There's a lot of dirt and crap that have been piled up in there for years. We had to get all that out of there because it was just nasty working under there. We got that all cleaned out. Got all the plastic on. I should say John and I are still here. My brother Kurt was here this weekend and Frank was helping us this afternoon. So big thanks to them for helping us do this. John and I would still be working if we're here by ourselves. And the other big thing that we got done today, and this is what I thought was going to be the real pain in the butt, was we got these blocks replaced. So these are bearings is really what they are, but they're wood blocks, they're oak blocks, and these shafts just sit in these blocks, and you can see how they're nice and tight. We should have showed you how sloppy they were before. So these things do wear out over time. These augers that these shafts are attached to are bringing the grain up from the cylinder, so the grain is getting knocked off of the stalks up here.
Okay, we're good again.
Okay. Sorry, I guess we lost you there for a second. I don't know how much you heard when we were away there, but I just mentioned what these shafts, they're attached to these augers, and the cylinder, the mechanism that knocks the grain off of the stalks is up in front of here. The grain falls down into a pan up here and gets pulled back here. It ends up going back into this, there's some sieves back here. That's the cleaning system that gets the chaff and the crap, separates it from the grain. So that's what that is. So we're getting close to being done with what we're going to do to this thing this year before we use it. We do need to replace the back tires. I'm going to try and get by this year without doing that. And a couple other things that we're going to save for next year that we're just going to make work this year. But got a few things to do. We got an oil to change. We got the electrical issue to deal with yet. A couple small things, some settings we got to get changed, but we're getting close. And unfortunately, we are likely to be combining quite a bit earlier than what we normally would. And I say unfortunate because that means the crop is probably not going to be great. I think I mentioned earlier what little rain we've had this year, 2 inches since May 1st, and it's now August 15th, I think. And they're starting to turn. There's going to be some kind of a crop there. It's just not going to be a bumper crop, and we'll deal with it, I guess. So we also got to move the chopper on this thing. So the stalks, soybean stalks this year, what we'll be doing with it, come back up above here, and they fall down into this thing. It's got some knives in it, and they're spinning real fast. It chops the stuff up, blows it out the back. These fins kind of spread it out so it's not all in one place. And you can see they're nice new knives, or new veins on the back here. That's because of an accident that the last people had with it. They had to replace a bunch of that stuff. But we want to keep the straw this year. We're going to be using it for feed. My dad's going to be using it for cattle feed. And this chopper, there's a couple pins that you pull out. We haven't done it yet, but you pull these pins out and down, and then you get a crescent wrench and you turn this little wheel, and there's some holes here, and this will actually just roll forward, so then the straw can just fall at the back of the machine and lay in the ground, and we can come back behind it with the baler and roll it up. So that's what we got going on. If you liked today's video, give us a great big thumbs up. Tell your friends. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.